everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. These are 5 things that we learnt from Manchester United's 1-1 draw away at Brentford. I mean, I could literally just open this video and say, we are not good enough, we are really not good enough, we are really, really not good enough, we have a poor mentality, and it was a terrible performance. And then I could just close the video because that performance was the worst performance I have genuinely ever seen from Manchester United under Erik ten Hag. And I've seen us go to Anfield and get beat 7-0. Like, it was bad. It was dire. The fact that we even had the opportunity to win that game would have been an absolute robbery, and we couldn't even hold on to that. A draw isn't a fair result. Brentford absolutely battered us and they played us off the park. And they played us off the park with a team that had their whole starting back four missing. A team that's fighting relegation, basically. It was absolutely dire, and it seems to be a recurring thing with our away performances. But the first thing that I'm going to get into is Erik ten Hag has to take accountability and has to take blame for this game. The players have to as well. There's so many different varying factors, a decade of bad decisions. But this game, you can't use injuries as an excuse. If anyone can use that excuse, it's Brentford. But the tactics from Ten Hag, the in-game management, it was all wrong. Thomas Frank outdid Erik ten Hag once again. And, you know, Erik ten Hag nearly robbed him of a result once again at the end with that Mason Mount goal, but it wasn't to be. First of all, our press. Our press is a disaster. We half press, and it makes... Brentford were cutting through us with 3 passes and getting into our half. They had 85 touches in our box, opposed to our 13 in their box. The mismatch all over the pitch was evident for everyone to see. And did we see it change at all across the 90 minutes? Did we see Erik ten Hag make a change? Or did we see Erik ten Hag make a tactical tweak that changed the dominance in that game, that changed the run of play? We didn't. So Ten Hag's tactics has to come they have to come under scrutiny when you're looking at this performance. I mean, you just look at our team stats there against Brentford. Like, it's terrible. Touches in the opposition box, 85 to 16. That is an embarrassment, and that's because when we get to the final third, we have no passages of play. When we're playing counter-attacking football, Man United are great. You know, you've got direct wingers that have got pace, that have got flair in Garnacho and Rashford. You've got a pacey striker in Højlund that can go up against it. You can score goals. When we've got open space, we can score goals. When we're up against a Brentford team that have a good structure, we get to their third, when we eventually can actually get it through the midfield and keep hold of the ball, or we win a long ball, which, you know, it's 50-50. We get there and we don't know what to do. You know, our fullbacks were getting ignored when they were overlapping. Our wingers are very direct and they like to go in behind. So we didn't really have any plan B. And Ten Hag did nothing to change it. Højlund got 1 chance. It was Ten Hag's tactics and the substitutions. Some of the substitutions, the Casemiro Mount one was too late, and the tactics just weren't there. I mean, it's something that really needs to be addressed because it's not the first time. Away performances under Ten Hag, we either scrape them and don't put together a deserving and dominant performance whatsoever. We scraped Sheffield United away, one of the worst teams I've seen play in the Premier League. So we either scrape them or we lose. And the only convincing away performance I've seen so far this season, to my knowledge, was Wolves away. That's the only one. That's something that needs to be addressed, and that's something that we need to change. So the second thing that we learn is that Mason Mount needs to be utilised more on the wing. As I was just discussing, you can't individualise this performance as a team performance. It was poor, and there's only a few players that can come off that pitch with their head held high. But in terms of creating chances, you look at Ivan Toney compared to Rasmus Højlund in this game. The service, Rasmus Højlund had 1 chance that Bruno passed into him, 1 chance, and it was a good save by Flecken. But he's working his socks off all game. He got 1 chance. Ivan Toney has chance after chance after chance. And okay, yeah, Ivan Toney's a very experienced seasoned pro, but his wingers, his fullbacks, his midfielders, they were providing him with chances. And Højlund didn't receive the same service back. And the reason why I'm saying Mason Mount has to play off the left more, first of all, it was his best position at Chelsea, where he had his most joy. Second of all, yes, I think Mason Mount can be a good midfielder, and his best position probably is as a 10. And he can play in the midfield. But if you're playing Mason Mount on the wings, he gives you something completely different to the Rashfords and the Garnachos. Like I just said about the pace and getting in behind, Okay, Mason Mount hasn't got that, but he's someone who can cut into the half spaces. He's someone who's going to do the legwork, someone that's going to win the ball back, someone that's going to keep the structure. And do you know what? He got on the opportunity and it was a brilliant finish with his left foot today. Someone that's actually going to look to create for Højlund, someone that looks up and thinks about crossing the ball. When you're playing against a team that keeps their structure the way Brentford do, Mason Mount can be the key to unlocking the door, to creating more chances. It gives you a different variation from the width. So I think Mason Mount, we should be looking to play more in them positions to give us more attacking threat in the final third and give us more creation. And the third thing that we learn, and I think this is something that I want to see as a positive, is that Varane needs to stay at Manchester United, in my opinion. Get in the comments what you would do. But the reason why I said I would be open to letting Varane go this year, and I said that earlier in the season, because I was so frustrated with his injury record, injury after injury and not being available. Varane this season has been our most available centre-back. He's been our most reliable centre-back. And again today, in a game where we're being bombarded in the box constantly. And you know what? Maguire did well and he came on, and Lindelof I thought did a good job as well. But Varane was standout for me. And he has been standout for a lot of this season. He's a Rolls Royce of a defender. And we're just going to let him go for free when we're struggling in the centre-back area. He's a seasoned pro. He knows what it takes to win. I really do think it would be a mistake letting him go. And also, you know, I actually think when you look at the defenders in general, they're doing quite well considering how much we're being peppered. The midfield and the forwards are not keeping the structure in front of them, which is causing us massive issues. I mean, Andre Onana, to say he's had such a shaky start at Manchester United in 2024, he's doing a fantastic job and was fantastic again today. But Varane, for me, his availability, and okay, he came off injured, but Ten Hag said it's just precaution. He is proved to me that he actually can stay fit and he is worth keeping around at Manchester United, so I think we should keep him. And the fourth thing that I learned is, for me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's not a left back and he shouldn't be playing left back. Did he have a fantastic performance against Mo Salah in that Liverpool game? Just come back off an injury and not even fully ready? Yes. Does he deserve major credit for that? Yes. But that's Wan-Bissaka's bread and butter. Against a top-class winger, he will lock them down, he will shut them out. In games like today, where you are tasked with the complete package, you know, going forward, helping your team get up the pitch, partnering with the winger in creating chances down the left-hand flank, coming into the midfield as that extra man. He's not capable of it. And he's more comfortable as a right back. He's so one-footed. Like, I think nearly every pass he made in the final third just went to no one. There was a couple that succeeded, but the majority of the time it was breaking down with Wan-Bissaka. I actually saw a lot of the times he was free on the left-hand side for the overlap and people just ignored him because he doesn't possess any attacking threat, whereas Dalot absolutely does. And that's the difference you have. But at least if Wan-Bissaka's on the right-hand side, he's more comfortable on that right foot, and he can definitely give you more on the right-hand side going forward. He's still not elite, but he can give you more. As a left-back, it just didn't work. He wasn't inverting into the midfield the way that Ten Hag wants his full-backs to. He wasn't giving you anything going forward. And to be honest, he kept playing the Brentford players onside when the rest of our back four had shifted up. And the goal that equalised, Wan-Bissaka was playing them all onside, and you can't just blame Wan-Bissaka. Our marking was terrible on that. Martinez did get turned, but Wan-Bissaka isn't a left back and he shouldn't be playing left back. He's so one-footed. He's not the most comfortable on the ball as it is. So that experiment is over. Dalot has played left back multiple times in his career. If we need to do a makeshift, I think Dalot should switch over because it's more logical. He's better on both feet and he's better on the ball. So that's kind of my takeaway from that game in terms of the full-back situation and Wan-Bissaka playing left back. And the last and final thing, and I don't think this will come as a shock to anyone, is that this whole team's mentality is poor. And I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But there is a reason this team, it feels like this season, the story has been, we'll score, we'll concede. We'll score, we'll concede. We won't concede for 96 minutes, but as soon as we score a goal, we concede. Champions League, it happened consistently, and it's happened this season. We are incapable of scoring a goal and holding out. It's like something in the brains or in the atmosphere where when Man United score, it's like we know we've done it so many times that we've thrown away leads and we've thrown away our chance to see out a result, that it creeps in. And it's almost like when you put something out into the atmosphere, it happens, you know, manifestation. It's like as soon as we score a goal, the players think, oh my gosh, we've conceded so many times after we've done this. And it creeps in, and that mentality, it just dips and dips and dips, and we concede. Ten Hag has to take responsibility. First thing he has to take responsibilities for is, why has he not been able to change this? It's been happening throughout the whole season. Why has he not been able to instill a different mentality in the players? Why has he not been able to solve this problem? The second thing is the players need to take a look in the mirror. Bruno, as a captain, needs to think about this. The players need to the senior players need to have a team meeting, because this isn't acceptable. It's not acceptable of a top club to concede that often after scoring goals. We didn't deserve to win this game, but we should have won it. When Mason Mount luckily scored, that should have been his moment. That should have been first Man United goal. We won the game. We don't know how we've done it, but let's get on track. We're still on track for Champions League football. It's going to be a dogfight, but we're still on track for it. But it wasn't, because this mentality creeps in. And it's the same with halftime team talks. When do we ever really see the mentality shift after half-time? So Ten Hag needs to address that, but the players need to massively address it as well. It's something that we can't keep persisting with. Why is this happening? And how do we stop it? It's something we can't keep doing, because it's massively costing us. But guys, they are the 5 things that we learnt from that Brentford game. I mean, I could have just said we're poor, because we were ultimately, it was a really poor display. But please hit a like on the video. We really do appreciate it. It's past midnight, it's the next day, we've stayed to make this video for you, so please like the video if you can. It really does help us out. And comment down below, what are your thoughts, what are your feelings, what takeaways did you have from this game? I'm sure there's a lot of people that are still angry from that performance. Let me know how you're feeling, and thank you for watching, guys. We will see you on the next one. Hopefully it's more positive.